Dear colleagues, good afternoon. Today, with the participation of leading domestic technological companies, we will discuss the progress of our joint work with you in the sphere of artificial intelligence. Well, with many of those present here, in one way or another and in various configurations, we constantly return to this topic. I will remind you that at the end of last year, at Spur's specialized conference, where is German Oskrovich? Is he here? Yes, at your conference, German, as well as at the Council for Strategic Development and National Projects, we spoke in detail about the exceptional, extreme importance of creating and widely implementing these solutions. I will repeat, artificial intelligence alongside digital platforms and autonomous systems is forming a fundamentally different image of the economy, public relations, the social sphere, education, healthcare, logistics and industry, defense and security, and in general of the entire life of the country. Our sovereignty and in the near future, without any exaggeration, the very existence of the Russian state depend on our ability to match the pace of global changes. It is necessary to take into account that artificial intelligence technologies are developing rapidly. Thus, fundamental language models and neural networks with colossal computing capabilities are becoming increasingly complex. Just recently, such systems were tested only for the mastery of a set of encyclopedic knowledge. Yet this current year, in the course of special tests, they have demonstrated impressive capabilities for deep interdisciplinary analysis. Further, with the help of language models, intelligent assistants are being created, so-called artificial intelligence agents. They no longer just execute certain commands and answer simple user questions, but in an autonomous mode, to a significant extent already without human participation, they solve the tasks set for them by the human. What is extremely important is that these artificial intelligence agents are already approaching a new level of independence. They are learning to plan their actions and evaluate the results obtained, to interact with people, with the real world. Last year, in a certain sense, a threshold phenomenon occurred. The overwhelming majority of experiment participants took the machine's answers for a dialogue with a living person, for a dialogue with a conversationalist. That is, these AI agents prove their ability to imitate a human, their cognitive and even emotional behavior. According to forecasts, already in the near future, in the near-term perspective, these agents will also cope with tests of physical capabilities. For example, it will be difficult to determine who is driving a car, a human or a neuropilot. So I would like to repeat once again, the issues of the ubiquitous application of language models and certainly their creation and the building up of their potential are of fundamental importance for the future of the country. The specialists present here know well that for the formation of language models, these AI agents, so-called open solutions, are often used. Entire libraries of algorithms shared by developers from different countries of the world. This resource of cooperation and partnership must certainly be used effectively. What I want to emphasize particularly, language models are a basic, cross-cutting technology that is the foundation for the sovereign development of all spheres. And only with the presence of our own models will we be able to confidently move forward, guarantee security and defense capability, and what is especially important, remain at the forefront of scientific and engineering thought, all the more so since our country is among the few states that possess unique competencies in this sphere. Therefore, I consider it necessary to ensure the creation and subsequent development of domestic fundamental models of artificial intelligence. They must be competitive on a global scale and at the same time possess the maximum level of sovereignty. This means that the full cycle of their development and training must be carried out by Russian companies so that our engineers can manage all the parameters of such complex systems. I want to immediately make a small remark here. I ask those colleagues with whom I have already met and discussed this very important, sensitive topic not to be wary or frightened. This is why we have gathered, to talk about all the details about the nuances. I mean that if we take something from our partners, then we must be certain that further steps in building the architecture of artificial intelligence must guarantee us the solution of tasks, specifically in the field of security and defense capability. Well, we will talk about this now. I asked the government to build the financial architecture of this large-scale project, which is significant for the country. In its realization, all participants of the process without exception must participate. The state, private technological business, and state-owned companies, of course. It is necessary to involve the potential of our programs in the sphere of defense and security as well. The experience of the leading countries in the sphere of artificial intelligence speaks to the effectiveness of such a mechanism, and such experience is known to us. We know how state-owned companies work abroad, including how defense departments work, how they invest their resources in the realization of relevant programs. Of course, to achieve the goals that stand before defense departments and special services, they invest money and attract both state resources, it turns out, and private ones, and on the whole, they achieve a good result. Dear colleagues, I will dwell specifically on the practical application of advanced solutions. I have already instructed the government, together with the heads of regions, to form a national plan for the implementation of artificial intelligence at the level of the entire country, taking into account the tasks of industries and subjects of the Federation. By 2030, similar technologies and products based on them must be used in all fields, including manufacturing, logistics, energy, management, and education. I know that the government and legislators are now preparing the legal framework for the application of artificial intelligence. I would like to repeat once again, it is necessary to tune regulation in such a way that it does not restrain, does not interfere, but on the contrary serves as a stimulus for accelerating development and the leading-edge implementation of advanced technologies. If we start building barriers here now, we will certainly fall behind in economic, technological, public, and social development. I will emphasize once again, it is a matter of achieving specifically the ubiquitous frontal application of artificial intelligence to form a market for the use of such solutions in Russia. This is a priority task for domestic business and, of course, for federal and regional government bodies. I believe that the heads of ministries and departments should annually present the results of the implementation of artificial intelligence in the sectors they oversee. I mean, not paper reports, but public, open reports with the demonstration of actually used solutions. Already in the current year, we will hear from our colleagues at a special exhibition within the framework of the SPIR's conference, Journey into the World of Artificial Intelligence. SPIR holds this event annually. Dear colleagues, a few words about the further organization of our work. A commission headed by the Deputy Prime Minister, Dmitry Yuryevich Grigorenko, and the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Presidential Executive Office, Maxim Stanislavovich Oreshkin, will handle the determination of the strategy and the systemic coordination of actions in the field of artificial intelligence. Also included in its composition are representatives of the administration, ministries and departments, leading technological companies, and members of the State Council. The corresponding decree has been signed. I asked the Commission, already in the current year, to consider complex solutions, including in the following directions. First, these are programs for the accelerated implementation of artificial intelligence in key sectors of the economy and the social sphere, and in the system of state administration. Second, this is the adaptation of the entire system of human potential development to the ubiquitous application of artificial intelligence, from primary school to the labor market. It is necessary to urgently reconfigure the mechanisms of training and retraining personnel and the levels of education for the new technological order. Third, taking into account the expansion of the implementation of artificial intelligence in sensitive sectors, and in general its growing influence on people's lives, society, and the economy, I consider it necessary to calculate models of the main risks and threats arising in connection with the use of such systems, and to determine measures for their timely prevention. Fourth, this is the development of our own artificial intelligence solutions for national defense and security. Here, I repeat, we must possess the most advanced technologies and use maximally sovereign domestic products. I have already mentioned some nuances and details that arise in this connection. We will also discuss this now, of course. And fifth, this is the creation of a comprehensive system for promoting Russian artificial intelligence systems and services based on them to foreign markets, and the development of cooperation in this most important sphere with our partners in the CIS, the SCO, and BRICS. Once again, I want to say, in general, I expect that the Commission will be able to unite the efforts of business, science, and the state, and will become a true headquarters for the development of artificial intelligence in our country. Let's discuss all the proposed questions. The floor is given to Dmitry Yuryevich Grigorenko.